Welcome to the Sensational Gent. I am your host, Sean C., and today we're going to talk about The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 1, and my reaction to the video. If you haven't seen it yet, you can watch the beginning of this video spoiler-free, and I'll make sure to let you know when to get out the video so I don't ruin it for you. For you guys that have seen it or don't mind going past, I'm going to go into some things that I saw in Episode 1, and I'm gonna do it in such a way that you'll know what's happening or have an idea, but I won't totally spoil it for you. So if you don't mind that, then hang with your boy, okay? So I'm gonna talk about it in a non-spoiler way, and there might be a couple things that might spoil it for you. I would hope that you stick around. The next thing I need you to do is to like this video. I wanna grow this channel. Now we will do more reviews exactly like the one we're doing here today in the future, along with talking about real life discussions. I do some sketch comedy. We also do so much more. So I need you to share this video with friends that you might think that might like this type of content and some other things that we do. The last thing, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon notification next to the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos here on TSG. And with that being said, let's get started. Now, watching this first episode, I had a lot of different feelings about it, okay? I think Marvel does a great job of setting up the show, right? Now, if we compare this one to WandaVision, the first two episodes of WandaVision, some people were kind of angry. I mean, let's face it, people were kind of mad, all right? So I think we try to hype up our expectations. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you that a Marvel feel. The one thing I can say about it is it feels like an epic show. It has a different tone than what we saw in WandaVision. Overall, I really like what I saw. I like where this show is going. I like the potential for what is to come. Even more so, I don't know where it's going yet, but we all know that this show is to tie into the larger MCU. So what does that mean? There's action as soon as you get into the episode. It doesn't fail. The Falcon comes out, he has his equipment and shows you why he is an Avenger and why he's worthy to be in this show. So we think of Sam Wilson, the Falcon, as a minor character. And I think that might be true as compared to the other characters because they have superheroes. But you got to understand, some of these minor characters are really important. And I think it's a great way without giving Sam and the Winter Soldier their own individual movie, which I think would be unnecessary. But by allowing these two to have a show together, it allows us to be able to see into these characters more than we would if they were just secondary characters. With some of the cinematic action that you get in this episode, it makes you real excited about where this show can go and what to expect. The Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, has a little action too, but it won't be what you may expect the action to be. When you see the Winter Soldier in action, you realize the fighting potential that the Winter Soldier actually has. Like the Winter Soldier was a straight up assassin. Okay, I mean, like, think about the fight scenes he had with T'Challa, right? It just wasn't no easy fight. I mean, like, literally, these are two skilled fighters, right? So I hope is that we get to see more of that potential throughout the course of this show. Now, I do worry, however, that he won't nearly be as a fierce fighter as we saw him in the past. I will say that's a fear of mine. And I hope I'm wrong because some of the MCU's best fight scenes, as I stated earlier, involved the Winter Soldier. All right, we get a very small dose of villains in this first episode, okay? These villains are some type of rogue group, and as I've stated before, it's hard to tell their motives, or I should say the brains behind the group. But we were given a small window into what their beliefs are, which I will not spoil for you right here, okay? The last part of my non-spoiler review, we really start to see some of the things that Sam and Bucky are dealing with in their personal lives. Even though it takes us away from the action, I think it will show us the motivations our heroes have and why they eventually choose to team up with each other, okay? So I think that that's where the show is going. Now, there are some cameos here and or people reprising their roles here in the MCU in this episode. And I love that they did this. And I hope we get more cameos as the show progresses. This first episode had a lot of dialogue and a lot of character building that was taking place. So if you were expecting action the whole episode, then you may be a little bit disappointed, okay? However, if you start to understand that the character development is very important to the overall enjoyment of the series, then this show is off to a very good start so far. At the end of this episode, you are ready for episode 2. You're ready to know what else is about to go on. Sam and Bucky are both met with surprises that have me excited to see what is next for each of these characters personally. Now, there are some real exciting aspects of this first episode that I want to talk about. And if you don't want this to be spoiled for you any more than what I've said, then you might want to click out the video right now. You have 3 seconds, and then I'm going on into another one. All right, for you guys that stayed, thank you very much. And let's go on and talk a little bit more in depth about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all right? So now it's time to talk about some specifics from the episode that I liked and left me with questions. Action sequence in the beginning is fantastic. So you have Falcon, who is trying to retrieve someone that has been stolen by whatever this rogue group. I'll be honest with you, I missed why this guy was important. They send in the Falcon, and the Falcon is already kind of cocky and ready to go. And so I don't want to really fully spoil this, but he goes after him, and it's probably from the beginning one of the most, crazy action sequences, right? Especially given that his thing is about flight, right? Being the Falcon, and that this whole action sequence takes place in the air. My God, amazing. Now, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. He caused so much pain to others while he was Hydra's personal assassin that now it haunts him. We see him trying to make amends with the people that he's hurt or affected, right? But we later learn the depths of his action goes way beyond what we can imagine. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Now, I see how the episode gets him to work with Sam and they both team up, right? In this episode, do not expect them to be teamed up. But how do they wind up teaming up? What would make these two really team up together other than the love of Captain America? Other than that, they're doing their own thing. Now, we talked about the couple cameos. One of the cameos we talked about was the Frenchman. Other person we get is James Rhodes, Iron Man's good friend, War Machine, played by Don Cheadle. I'm very excited at the possibility of a team up. The other thing, seeing him makes me realize that anyone dealing with the US government or Hydra could make some cameos in this show. So we really have a lot to look forward to. So it'd be great to see Don Cheadle come back and be able to help and lend his talents if need be. The bad guys, when we see them, they are a network and they're robbing a bank. What is their motivation? Is it the money? Are the bad guys driven by ideology? We don't know. However, even if their motivation is for robbing banks, which is traditional crime, or do they have a more sinister plan up their sleeve? Who is controlling them? Who is making this go? Because we always know there's someone else pulling the strings. Marvel is really good about bringing someone else in to show that someone else is pulling these strings. We'll have to keep watching to find out. Now, the Winter Soldier caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. And as a hitman, he thought he had only been taking out the bad guys. Yet, I believe that Bucky finds out that he is responsible for killing an innocent man's son. The weight of this has to be tremendous on him. How will this shape him in the future? Last thing, Sam gives Cap's shield to the Smithsonian Institute because he wants everyone to remember Captain America and who Captain America was. We already talked about him not feeling like he deserves to have the shield. So he thinks he's doing the right thing by being unselfish and putting it on display so people can remember Cap. These fools off in the government feel like they got to mess with things, so they went off and tried to make a new Captain America US agent. The worst part was, spoiler, they give him Captain America's shield. This has got to be a complete slap in the face of Falcon, and he was not even asked by the government to be the next Captain America. They moved on to someone else. Was there a reason? Why didn't they ask him to do it? And maybe that might be something that Sam has to deal with later, right? Something that he has to deal with in terms of being looked over or looked past just because he's just the Falcon. Does that make sense? What do you guys think is going to happen in the next episode? Do you think we'll finally get the team up in the next episode? Does the Winter Soldier team up the Falcon, give him the new war that he needs? Does Sam seeing US Agent rolled out make him regret his decision about Captain America and what Captain America wanted for him? What did you all think of episode 1? Leave me a comment down below. And for more videos just like this one, check out the link above, or make sure you stick around for the video at the very end. With that being said, live your best life.